Good evening, everyone. I wanted to do a study today just so you know that I promised someone that I was going to give out good bullet points for relationships and this journey I was about to go on. There was supposed to be a journey that I was supposed to plan on going this weekend to help me overcome the struggles I deal with women on a daily basis. And it was supposed to be a retreat that I needed to get away in order for me to learn how to overcome my struggles. So I'm gonna be doing the video instead of me going. Let me get this out for you. It won't take a second. Okay, so here it is. So anyone who wants to go to this retreat for this weekend, you're gonna need to go to the Southgate Church, right in St. Louis. I will give you the address of what you expect of. So you need to go to Southgate Men's Retreat at 9620 East Wilson Road, Crestwood, Missouri 63126. The dose, if you're interested in going, and so man, be warned, it will cost $130 to go to this. But I was gonna go, but I wasn't gonna be able to. So a lot has happened in a short amount of time of 3 weeks, and I just got out. And I was just gonna go out there because I already told my friends and bosses ahead of time. So basically, I'm in that position that I'm gonna have to learn how to overcome this struggle. So growing connection, it's called growing in connections. It gives the opportunity for men like me to overcome the struggles I had with relationships with women. It could be a spouse, sister, aunts, and female bosses. Those are the areas I have struggles in over a long time. So tonight's lesson, we're going to be learning how to. This is for tonight's lesson, and this is going to be an important lesson because I've been reading it and studying it last night, and it just got deeper. It's basically a lesson that has been taught for years. If you haven't learned this lesson in school, then I don't know what to tell you, but I will teach you it again. It's called treat others the way you want to be treated. And in addition to that, the teaching of judging others. That's an added bonus that goes with it. So you're going to be, and if you want to find out more, you will need to tune in to Luke chapter 6, and between 27 and 36, between verses 27 and 36. And judging and teachings of judging others between 37 and 42. So basically, it sounds like this, and here's a story in my life that I'm going to give out to you. It's basically like this. A few years ago, it's not a few years ago, it's not much, but basically like this. I grew up learning how to treat others the way you want to be treated, and I do have to take it into consideration. Because it's basically about this. You treat others with respect, they'll treat you with respect. Women, this applies to you too. Now, men always the one treat you with respect, but when he's down, you don't come to him in his need. You give him the space. You don't even give him space for him to recuperate. There was a female friend I had. I didn't want to talk to her for a month. Why? Because she disrespected me. And all I did was approach to her and hide. And I asked her a question. Was I in the way? She instead just gave me that stare looking attitude. I walked away from her. And I was mad at her for that. I didn't want to talk to her for a month after that. You guys want me to fellowship with women, and yet they don't fellowship with me, and I get disrespected all walked across the board. When am I allowed to have something? What if I'm allowed to have something? I remember in school, it was sometime back in 2009, when one of my classmates, one of my friends, she was talking to me and said, I don't want to be your boyfriend, your girlfriend anymore. And I'm like, what? Personally, I didn't know. I didn't even know that was a thing because I never put myself in attachment to it. So she just wanted to be friends. because she wanted to talk to other guys and treat them, and she found the one that she wanted to be with. So at the end of the day, that meant you don't need to attach yourself to someone. If someone does have zero interest in you, that means leave them alone. Don't stalk them too, because stalking happens in two categories. Everyone assumes that the male is always the bad guys. He stalks this girl. What happens when the girl stalks him? Ladies, this applies to you too. Treat others the way you want to be treated. If guy wants to be the gentleman, that's you. That's the guys. But right now, this is about me. I mean, what happens if a woman? This is about me. And here's some questions I need to ask. And this is for me. What happens if someone ends up becoming interested in me? I can't just go to a woman and ask her, "Would you be interested in me going out with me?" Why? For some men, it don't work that way. My case is different than the rest of the men. You guys think I just sit there and talk and learn sit back and studies? What I do is sit down and studies. I let them approach me. It's better this way because I don't want to get myself in something that's going to lead to damnation and lead to trouble. Even female employees at work too. This is what I go through. When I was going through a hard time, I walked away. I wanted to walk away, but my boss kept pushing it. My last boss that I had over the summer, at my last job, which I can't say much about, but pretty much everybody got the hint of it. So it's basically in the same category. Judge not, and you should not be judged. When a woman's instincts kicks on, it's mind-boggling. It's basically brutal. If the guy she's with, if she catches him cheating on him, she's gonna go off on him, right? But if a guy sees his girl cheating on him with another guy, then he's supposed to sit there and take the beating. And what is about finances? I heard a guy who really he only loved her for emotional support. But why do we have to have this in order to keep a relationship flowing? Money. Why has it always been about money? Direct deposits. I always want to know. I guess this goes against what I was taught in school. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Why do we have to rely on money for much of everything? It's not what's outside a person, it's what's inside a person. And the people and my pastor's wife asked me a question that I created my own religion. And I was going to say, no, I didn't create my religion. I didn't create a religion. I created a protection. Why? Because I want to protect myself from against embarrassments and humiliation. Against gold diggers who only like me for money and increase. Every time someone increase, why do you have to be the judge of it? I didn't create because there are women who will do anything to take advantage of you, and I see it plain as day. Let me tell you something, ladies. Women are not the only ones that friend zones guys. Guess what? I friend zone girls too. Based on their human interbehavior, meaning behavior inside. I don't see a connection. I don't see a relationship I want to be with. All I see was disaster. So when I read it in my Bible, I went into prayer a long time ago, and I asked God what in the world means to become one. A lot of people in my life have been telling me that, even my pastor. When two become one, I hear enough, it's like, and it's overwhelming. So I heard it multiple times, and guess what? I finally understand it, and I pray to God, and I ask him this. If God wants me to you want me to get married? Why don't you pick a woman for me that you see fit? Because I am done searching. I am done wasting my time going out there and search. Why? Because I see so many disrespectful women in many levels. And it's like, oh, it's not this woman in the household. Maybe you don't know what the men go through too in their household too. It's always about it's always about women's always right. Until I later found that answer that which is not the case. It's supposed to be a happy house and a happy spouse, which I found a pretty good answer to that. And ladies, if this is gonna make you mad, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you because I'm going by what the Bible says. Allow me to read this. But I said unto you, whichever hears the love of your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Meaning, if I treat you with respect, I'd get you respect even though you don't like me, and I treat you with any respect possible. I'm just bottom line is I'm just trying to be nice to you. Let me take you deeper. Bless them that curse you and pray which despitefully use you. Women been using me all over the time. They took advantage of my kindness and took advantage of what I had to offer. I got gifted hidden talent. A guy of mine, a friend of mine, who was telling me this overnight when we had these deep conversations. It was very powerful what he said, even though he don't believe what he was saying, but it does bring a valid point. I need to do better. I need to push myself harder, which I'm really trying to do here. So there have been women who've been using me and taking advantage of me, and this includes my sister too, my aunts. Back in 2011, my mom was sad. She even felt guilty because she had to break the news to me that she needed $3,000. Wait, I know what y'all gonna ask me. How did you get $3,000? Easy. I save my paychecks. I save it. Because I don't hardly spend my money much, or unless I need to go and use it. Or unless something good comes out, or like something like SCTV on there, SC on TV products back then that came out, which is pretty cool. Or unless a new game comes out. So I felt devastated for like a couple weeks in that year. It was a horrible year. It was a horrible time because they need to pay their car notes and car insurance. And I never got it back since, even though my sister owed me that year, and I never got it since. But I learned how to let that go. I had to let that go because I'm never going to get it back. So I just trust God, and He's going to deliver me whatever He promised. And His word returns without void. Here's another one. And unto him sendeth thee of the one cheek also offer another cheek. And him that taketh away thy cloak forbid not taking thy coat also. I don't even know what that even means, but it's part of the lesson. I just keep giving and giving. What am I allowed to gain? Because every time I always give, I end up gaining nothing as usual. Maybe I give to the wrong person and the wrong person never get, and I'm supposed to be expecting something back. I don't know. But this is what women did to me over the years. I used to love fellowship with women, but it ends up being a problem. So it's like I just have to back away slowly. And yes, I used to open myself up all the time. I've been in horrible conversations that make people feel uncomfortable. What did I do in that? If someone wants me to approach me, I just let them. I'll come along. If you invite me to go to your friend's event or anything you want of your heart's desire, I'll come along with you. Just make sure you're the ones gonna help get me there and back, safe and sound. All I ask in return. Because there have been women who take advantage of me all the time, and I'm tired of it. Even bosses too. I had limited respects from bosses because my last boss was abusive, verbal abuse. Men go through emotional trauma too. It's just like women do. But everybody thinks a man always gotta be toughened up and suck it up. Buttercup. But men have feelings too. What if he's down and he needs you to support him and you won't give him that support? Pray for your spouse. Pray for your sibling, your brother, as a woman. You should pray for him, love him, give him the same respect he give you, not the other way around. If you want him to treat you right, then basically you should treat him right too. It works both ways as human beings. Treat him the way you want to be treated too. But you don't know about women. I know plenty. Cause why? Cause I've seen enough of it. So many disrespectful women. And all I did was come and treat you and give you cards. What did I gain from it? All I gained was friendships from it. There have been one last night reached out to me and wanted, and like, we were very close. And we still are. We're close big FFs. And this is why I don't pursue. There are women I friend zone too. I put them in friend zones also because I don't see a relationship connection. And in fact, I was told not to date. Because God gave me an order and he told me not to date anyway. But that doesn't mean I need to learn. That doesn't mean I shouldn't get practice. I want to make sure I get some time in also. I want to be allowed to have something too. Get some practice in because I want to make sure I'm good at this. Because I want to work on myself daily. Prove myself. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to work on you. Not anyone else. So basically, it's like this. You treat others the way you want to be treated. This applies to anyone too if you want to hear this. I don't know what else to say. Or what else to do. Because I want to be allowed to have something too. And so it's like basically treat others the way you want to be treated. It isn't fair. But I'm doing something about it. There's someone I knew that was always interested in me. But there are people out there who make sure I don't want to get it. Don't want me to get it. So it's like, God, am I allowed to have this person that is going to be there to love me, support me, be there for me in times of struggles? Is this the right one? Basically, I've been learning this. Seen guys who cheated, and this one was my personal favorite. This guy was walking this girl with the cheetah shirt on, and his ex-girlfriend caught him cheating. And she was faithful to him. And he traded that faithful girl that was gonna be there for him versus a stripper. That's not good. Don't trade in something that, and it works both ways. But I'm working on getting women to understand what men go through. Don't treat him like a piece of trash, especially after all he's done for you. Don't treat him like a trash. Give him the same respect as he give you. And you wonder why y'all in your feelings so much and we come hard on you. Because it's based on how you treat him. And if you don't like it, then leave. Find someone else that will make you happy. Because in the end of the day, to be honest with you, you really should be learning how to make yourself happy instead of relying on a guy to do it for you or a princess. Give to every man that asked it, and thee of him take it the way good as asked them not again. There are times and seasons that we had to be still. That one, I don't know what that means. And as he would that men shall do to you, you shall also do to them likewise. Treat for women, treat men respect. He needs respect too. He wants your love. He wants your support. Make sure you give him the same treatment. Like I said, it could be spouse, sister, aunt, best friend, and co-worker, and boss. This describes me because I have the only thing that's missing is spouse, sister, aunts, friends, co-workers, boss. Yes, I have female bosses. I've been around females all my life, all around women. I went to Springfield with SWIC, Southwestern Illinois College. It was a fight to keep the school and the programs going. And unfortunately, I found out I was the only guy that went in that year. Before the pandemic came, I was the only guy that went that year. So when I went that one, because there was another guy who was supposed to show up, but unfortunately unfortunately he didn't show up for that trip, so it ended up being me going, and I basically learned a lot being around women, being the only guy in that van in that year. I was like, what are you doing? Like, whoa. And then out of nowhere, during that time period, there were two ladies who were trying to flirt with me, all over the board, when I went to Springfield. So I went to, and it was just like flirting with me the whole time we were in the Capitol building, in the Illinois State Capitol building, the whole time. And when I needed to go use the bathroom, they tried to pull me to go in the girls' bathroom, which was never going to happen. So I went in the men's bathroom, was the only guy. And I talked to some politicians too, and like, hey, how you doing? And came out, and then a teacher and the coordinator came and grabbed me to make sure I got out of the Capitol one day building. And when I was eating the lunch, and also when I was having lunch with that guy, or that computer teacher, my former computer teacher, he actually went there too, which was a blessing. Two women won't leave me alone. It was just like, wow. Then finally, an older woman came up to them and told them to stop. It got into a point I got annoying, so an older woman came up there and told them, those two women, to stop flirting with me. Just leave me alone. And this was in Springfield. So after that, we went back to our regular area, and we called it a day, and we went home, and we went our day. And that was the most intense, that was the most hard trip I had to go through, but I survived and came back with a smile on my face. Even female classmates. I used to be the only guy in school. In the whole college, I was the only guy full of women in the room. While the rest of the men didn't want to come, I was the only guy left standing. That's to show you how much strong I am and how much I changed. I wasn't going to let the odds get me to where I need to be. Okay. As ye will do, and as ye will do, that man shall do to you. Oh, I just read that, sorry. For ye, if ye love them which love you, what think had ye, for sinners also love those who love them. So women, ladies, you want a guy to love you the way you want, treat them the same respect as they give you. If you don't like a guy yelling at you and putting you down hard, then maybe you should learn how to treat him too. Ask him how he's doing. Ask him how's his day going. Treat him with the same way he treats you. I hear this one all the time. Baby, you're the apple of my life. I never had no woman come up to me and tell me that. Guys always have to be the cheesy ones to turn them on. I want to see a woman turn on a man too. Back in 2004, it was a Valentine's Day weekend. I got asked out. Want to know how this girl became interested in me? My sister told her about me. My sister gave her me, told her everything about me. I didn't give her, I didn't know anything. All I was doing was sitting on my grandparents' porch, with my grandpa enjoying the sunset and the stars. It was a great night. The next day, the persistence continued. She kept thinking of me, wanting to be with me, talking about that talking about relation. I was like confused, and my heart was like, wow, beating in a fast I never seen it. It wasn't the right time. I didn't know. And then later it dawned on me about a week later, saw that person again. And I asked her, can we be friends? She didn't talk to me again, ever again, after that encounter. She was giving me a complete stare and moved on. She was on the phone talking to someone. There was something I didn't know. So I had to let that go. There was a lot I didn't let go, I had to let go, and even though I don't understand it. And I still struggle to do it to this day. This is a testament I give. Ladies, if you want a guy to come on you, you need to break your modern tradition, break your so-called tradition, and go pursue the guy that you want to be interested. If he's interested in you, then go find him. Go find him. I asked the question, what happens if someone becomes interested in me? It's always me. It's always the man has to be the one that's interested in her. I can go approach the women all I want, and what do I gain from it? Nothing. All I'm going to end up gaining is hurt and resentment. And probably be friend zoned too. Like I said earlier, women are not the only ones that friend zone guys. I happen to friend zone women too. Put them in the friend zone as well. And I didn't create my own religion, I create my own protection. Back when I went to church, it was Easter 2015. I was watching a young lady. She was like a young schoolgirl. She had autism and disability and also had ADHD. So I ended up being her babysitter because there was no other women to help me with her. So I ended up being her babysitter, and I told her to go to class and whatever. About almost 9 months later, there has been a report. No, it wasn't a report. She started spreading rumors of me touching her inappropriately, and I didn't do nothing. And then the pastor had to say something about it. He said, you made her feel uncomfortable. It was like, what? It left me a confused mark. About a couple weeks later, I had a conversation with that pastor and the assistant pastor of that church that was in Fairview Heights that I used to go to. Had a conversation with them, and they told me they were just trying to protect me because the church has already been in trouble with the last person who got involved in false relation activity. Pretty sure you know what I meant. So I learned to let her go and leave her alone. Didn't want to connect with her again. And just like, what do you do? And I learned that sex is very dangerous. Relations. Just to make sure, and disclaimer alert, if this video gets taken down, it will be back again. But that's not the point. Relation. So anyway, that's basically it sounds as a story why I don't approach women anymore. But whatever, if one wants to become interested in me, if it happened before, like almost 12 years ago, about 19 years ago, hey, let her come. It's gonna be almost 20 years. Let her come find. And I'm basically doing this because this also happens to be International Women's Day. So I'm also contributing, giving women on inside stories on what to do if a guy wants to approach him, wants to approach her. But in my case, if you guys want to be with me, women, come find me. You have to build your way to come find me. Because I'm always not going to be there to help you. If God calls you in my life, you're welcome to stay. That's why I ask God about you every day. I ask God, are you the one for me? You want me that badly? You can come find. You got legs, you got minds. Your mind is capable of putting whoever you want in my life. What you want. Don't let a modern tradition tell you otherwise. Break your tradition. Like I said earlier, back in 2004, on Valentine's Day weekend, I got asked out. You can be interested. I didn't go find love. Love found me. You guys want me to go find love? Let it come find me. I just learned to get the out of the way. Get that out of the way. And if you do good on the them, which you do good to you, and think have ye for sinners, even do the same thing. Also do even the same. That means treat others the way you want to be treated, ladies. And if you don't like a man hurting your feelings, then maybe you should treat him how he treats you. Don't yell at him. When a guy asks for space, give him space. Don't rush to him. It could be me coming to you all and you're having an attitude and you told me to get the away from me. Same guy may do the same thing to you. If a guy had asked you to give him space, leave him alone. Don't follow him. Don't stalk him. Stalking has both ways, but mostly I hear the men get in trouble for stalking the women they see they want, and the woman makes him feel uncomfortable. Women feel uncomfortable around them. Same thing happens to men too. Even though I don't think less of myself as a dude, but there have been times I've been stalked. And most of it has been pleasant so far, and hasn't been lethal and deadly. Yes, men been stalked. Men like me. I let no women tell me what to do. So I asked my mom a long time ago, if a woman decides to come in my arena, and start running my arena, meaning start hitting me and putting her hands on me, do I have the right to defend myself? And my mom told me, absolutely yes, you do, son. If a woman puts her hands on you, you have every right to fight back. There you go. Learn from that from my own mother. I have every right to defend myself. And guys, let me ask you a question. And I asked this guy the same question too. What would you do if a woman pulls a gun on you? Or any kind of weapon? What would you do? And here's when I say that. About 12 years ago, it was the day of my graduation. It was around 11:30. We were getting ready for speech. We were getting ready to have speech. So my speech therapist put together a video that portrays the guy wearing a leather jacket and jeans, and a blonde girl with a tank top short skirt and sunglasses. So the story begins with the character in that video. The guy approaches the woman and he asks her for a ride to take him where he needed to go. It was a complete stranger danger video. And so, and everybody was so intense. It was getting interesting about every 5 minutes. It kept getting interesting. So the woman opens the door. The guy didn't go to the car, so he approaches the woman, and he's like, "Oh, ooh." My speech teacher was getting psyched. Everybody in the whole class was psyched except me. In the back of my mind, I knew that this wasn't going to be the case. I knew I was right in that same subject. And so what happened was, after it got really intense, guess what happens next? The woman pulled a gun on the guy with the leather jacket. Usually the guy goes after the girl with the weapon or anything and make her do what he wants. But instead, she made him do what she wanted. So she pointed a gun at him and made him give her his wallet, his money, his everything. He gave up everything. He was forced to give up. Why? Because he had a gun, a picture of a pretty woman, pointing a gun at him. Pointing a gun. Ready to shoot him. So she takes his wallet and his money. And the guy was like lost in words. Well, what about my ride? Drove up and drove him away and mind her business and drove him away. Left him on the side of the road. The question came forward after that, and the next time the video got played out, the guy was just walking on his way. So he just kept walking. He just had to screw this. And later, the question revealed, I don't know the question, what to do. And I said, don't trust anyone, regardless if it's male or female. And don't let prettiness appearances fool you, because that will lead to your doom. Yeah, that's what happened in speech on the day of my graduation. So, basically, ladies, treat everyone you want to be treated. And if you don't like you don't like to be disrespected, treat them the same way. Respect works both ways. And if he do good to them, which do good to you, and think he has the sinners, he would do the same thing. Okay, sorry, I must have read that. And if ye lend to them of whom ye hope to receive, what think he had ye for sinners also led to sinners to receive such again. Basically, give him love, service, support him, whatever he's going to be needing when the times get tough. Be there for him. And if you're not there physically, pray for him. Pray for him. Help him. Pray for him. Treat him the way you want to be treated. Love him. Give him the same respect he gives you. And that's all it boils down to. Pray for him. Love him. And like I said, if a guy needs space from you, give him that space. Don't force your will on him. Last time I checked, and let me say this for those who are married, ladies, you don't have, let me put it to you this way, you should never be a father to your son. Because last time I checked, you're the mother, not the father. That's a man's job, not yours. Your son, don't stop your son from seeing his dad or your daughter. You can't go on you don't know what goes on in their head. You think you run them, but you really don't. Don't run your child. You don't know what goes on in their mind. But if they want to see their dad, let them see their father. If your ex-husband are in divorce, Don't stop your kids from seeing their other parent that they're missing. Just because you have a hard time with them, it doesn't give you a right to stop your child to see them. I know a guy who couldn't even see his son because his ex-wife didn't want him to see his son. And that's horse crap, even though she cheated on him. That's just disrespectful. I don't even want to say that in that level. That's just on selfish and greedy and turd. Didn't want to have to say it, but when your true nature shines, that makes you think me less of you. I don't even want to look at you anymore after what you did. Treat others the way you want to be treated, ladies, or you will get the same measure meet to you. But love your enemies and do good and lend hoping for nothing. Again, you will reward, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is the kind and unto the unthankful and to that evil. Back to that again. Don't be selfish, women, ladies. If a guy try to get close to you and make you feel special, let him. But in my case, if you want to get close to me and special to me, I let you. Back in 2001, in the year 2000s, there was a group of B2K, the famous rap singers or hip hop and R&B singers back then. My sister and my cousins fell in love with them. It was all lit up all over the whole neighborhood. It was like watching on BET. And for those who don't know who BET is, it's called Black Entertainment Television. That meant the show basically around blacks. So back then, all the girls loved them. The whole neighborhood was shouted. Basically incredible, huh? Be ye faith, therefore merciful, as your Father is merciful. Women, bottom line, forgive your husband, your sister, forgive your husband. For those who are married, forgive your husband. If you have a brother, forgive him. If you are his nephew, forgive him. If you are his mother, forgive your son. If you're his co-worker, forgive him. If you're his boss, forgive him for what he had done to you. If it wasn't intentional, if it was intentional, give him mercy as God gave Yah mercy. Treat him. So bottom line is, women, treat guys the same respect as he gives you. I can come and give you all kinds of respect. All I ask for in return is give me the same respect I give you. If I want a hug, I'll ask for your hug. If you want me to give you a hug, I'll give you a hug. I'll love you. As friends, spouse, whatever. But be warned. My wife will be here. I'm not going to be in business, women. Yeah, I've been warned. I'm not going to deal with you. I'm going to let my wife know, and I'm going to be calling her to let her know that certain things will not be tolerated. Because I lived through the hard times and the embarrassment. My last job was embarrassing. I was verbally assaulted. I was verbally harassed at work. Everybody gets on me because I haven't finished college. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm like in the wrong run trying to get my stuff together. Maybe if I wasn't working so hard, I wouldn't go through this. I wasn't letting it getting taken away. So I had to work hard to get what I want where I'm at today. I'm trying to learn how to drive too. I'm trying to make a living also. I want to be there when someone needs me. I want to be allowed to have something like everybody else. I admit I made mistakes in the past. I want to move past that. I want to prove myself that I won't do it again. I want to redeem myself. I want to redeem. I want a second chance in life. I want to be forgiven. I want hope for my future. I want to win like everybody else. I'm tired of admitting defeat. I'm tired of being the one who gives out and gets nothing. I want to be on the other side of that victory lane. And I want someone to be interested in me that loves me that much. I'll take more love than being hated. I was hated in school, and I didn't do nothing to you. Maybe I was a bad kid back then, but like I said, I want mercy. I give y'all mercy. Give me mercy too. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn or not, ye shall not be condemned. Forget, and ye shall be forgiven. Back to what I said earlier in Luke chapter 6, verse 36. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Judge not. Don't make judgments you don't know. How will you know? Were you there in that situation? Were you there for me? Were you there when I was in need? Are we going to go to the courts and let them decide? Because I'm pretty good on what I'm doing. And let me tell you this, I never want nothing to do with Autism Speaks ever again. Because they ruined my life. My life's ruined. And here I am trying to put the pieces back together where they once were. I'm on this journey of finding myself. Because it was broken. Because why? Because I allow it. I didn't understand back then, but I do now. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and run over, shall man gain into your bosom. From the same measures that ye meet, withal shall be measured to you again. And he spake into a parable unto them. Then to them can the blind lead the blind. They shall not be both fall into the ditch. Shall they not both fall into the ditch? Yeah, so if you're going to go down to your own destruction, just know I will not be there when your fall comes. And you will not take me down with you, because I will make sure everybody knows. It's just like I said earlier, there are malicious women who get away with everything and do whatever they want and not be held accountable. The disciple is not above the master, but everyone that is perfect shall be his master. So women, who gave you the right to judge? Who gave you the right to assume that the guy is bad for you? What do you know about his mind? What do you know what goes on in his head? You don't know nothing. So instead of you assuming, you should mind your business. And if he wants your concern, he'll come to you for your concern. Just trust him. Like us, it boils down to it. Forgive one another. as God and Christ forgave us. Which and why beholdest thou motive is thy in thy brother's eye, but more perceived is not the being in thy own eye. No one is not the judge, only God can judge. But this is why I don't want to make a mistake. And this is why I'm working on not letting other people tell me how to run my life. I want to do whatever God has provided. Here's the question is, are you going to help or are you going to get out of the way? Because I don't need negativity right now. Sorry when I last or get out of the way. I don't need, sorry about my French, but I'm just going by what the Bible says. I don't make my own religion. And I say that because I've been down that road. And I'm tired of following false believers that lead to the path of life. I just trust God, bottom line. And finally, either how canst thou say to thy brother, let me pull out more than thy eye, when thou thyself beholdest not thy being of this thy own eye, but thou hypocrite hast the first being out of thy own eye, and shalt thou see clearly, and put out the mote of that is in my brother's eye. So it basically boils down to this. You'd have no right to judge me. You're not there in my situation. You had no right. You want to help me? Help me get what I want. Or get out of my way. I believe what God has for me. So I went into prayer again. And I went to prayer and I told God, if you want me to get married, your word says it. You pick the woman for me, because I've seen so many disrespectful women in my town, in my county, in my region. I'm done pursuing. If she wants me that much, give her the ability to go find me. And that's why that order was put into place. Because God told me, God even sent somebody, God even told me, and to edify it, make it more funny, make it more fun. God sent one of the pastor's wife, told me not to date no one. I got told not to date. I just want to sit, and this is my purpose, and it's easy, because I just want to sit back and relax and not pursue. Let her mind wander. In 1920, 14 years after Susan B. Anthony died, and if you guys want to know who Susan B. Anthony was, she was the woman who was an activist for women's rights. That meant she fought hard for women to have rights as men. I know I don't like talking about women's rights much, but however, this fits the situation that I am in right now. This literally fits the situation. So, back in 1920, it was 14 years after Susan B. Anthony passed away from pneumonia. A bill got passed into the U.S. Constitution, which gave the women the right to vote, the right to have jobs, and have equal rights as men. Personally, I welcome it. I see women play football, baseball, soccer, find jobs, play baseball, play soccer, basketball, any sport they can think of. It's just like kickball. When you're in the last person between you and the other guy or the other girl they'll get to pick one of them. And it's just between you and her. Who they gonna pick? Me or them? And if I don't get picked, I'm fine with it. I'll just sit out. That's what it feels like. So women have the right to go do whatever they want, but they won't have the right to pursue the men that they like. But here's my case. I don't want to be the pursuer. I went and told God that. If God wants me to pursue, if God wants me to be married, I told God, let her find me. And if that's the woman I'm called to be with, I'll take it. Because I seen the line of this work I do, and disrespect, and line of work that I do and learn. I see so many disrespectful women that I want no part of it. I treat them as I want to be treated. And basically, I just treat a human being. You gotta love a human being. It's beautiful. They have love and compassionate. Give them the same thing. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So, if women can go pursue jobs and careers and have a better chance of having a successful life, then I see no excuse for them to go find the man that they like. What goes on in their minds? Gotta ask that question. I don't know what goes on in a human mind. If a woman wants me that much, let her come find me. Let her pursue me instead. For some guys, and the guys who want to know the question, should a woman pursue? I said I welcome the idea, yes. Women can go find jobs and careers. Women can go pursue too. I've seen and I met plenty of women who opened doors for me in my life. Even when my hands are full and I was trying to be the responsible male, some women were like, nope, I want to hold the door for you. I welcome it. All I did was sit back and relax. Some of it, I almost cried. I cried. I was crying that I wanted to give her a big hug for holding the door for me, for being there for me when my spouse isn't there. And no, she haven't came for me. Because it's hard, because there are people out there who will make sure that I don't have a happy life. I'm not a cheater. I never was. You just assume. And believe me, I will get evidence to break that cycle. In fact, I got evidence right now that I'm no cheater. Because I put my trust in the Lord. I don't need to go find no other woman. Why chase something that doesn't want to be chased? And in the result, you get hurt from it. Why do you get hurt for something that doesn't want you? You're just wasting your time and you just got yourself stabbed in the heart. Not physically, mentally. Oh, and I got one more thing to do before we close up shop. Like this uniform, like this hoodie I got on, it's the Green Ranger Dragon Shield Power Rangers Mighty Morphin. Pretty cool, huh? I'm honoring the man who recently died of suicide because of the divorce. I don't know what happened in the story. I don't know what happened and led to it. He was the guy I grew up watching when I was younger. I love the Green Ranger. Even though I didn't see the Green Ninja movie back when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was great, but it was helpful. But ever since this happened, I kept his shirts. I'm glad I got me one. And I love the shirts. And I got the Green Ninja costume too to honor him. Because he lost his life. Another one I grew up watching. Because of love and his divorce. Because of divorce. Like I said, ladies, if you want a man to treat you right, make sure you treat him right too. Give him the same respect that he gives you. Treat him the way you want to be treated. Respect works both ways. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl that you're going to regret for the rest of your life. Because you just gave up that guy to be with somebody else who really don't care about you. Same thing that a woman gives me. I had to learn that too. I learned to treat everybody. When I see a woman, I mean, it's sad, but every day I hurt. That's why I'm working so hard to rebuild something. And not only working hard, I'm building my confidence. Because I wanted to grow when it's time for me to take off. There's times and seasons that I must wait until I'm ready. And I'm not looking for no one. I'm not a cheater. But I'm just tired of letting people own me and tell me what I feel. Treat others, I'm tired of it. Long story short, my sister lives in Texas now. If she can move, I can go somewhere too. Too bad I gotta work hard for it. And if you're wondering why I got on, this is a skull cap and it has audio and music and a flashlight here. Yeah, this is a flashlight. It's gonna help me wherever I need, so looks great. Well, that's about all for I can do for you today, and I'm about to go to bed. But I hope this will help women understand men better on how to build connections between guys and understand a male and what he goes through. And I just gave you some pointers on my life experience with me dealing with women. Even though I've been preached at church, but I had to learn how to get along with women too. Even though there are some that really don't deserve my respect, but I had to treat them the same way. I had to give them respect too, as God gave me respect. So, anyway, I just pray that one day I'll be able to win, and the person who wants to spend time with me and be with me, that's what I'm gonna put my energy towards. That person who really wants me that much, that she wants me that much. Not when me go chase something that doesn't want to be chased. All that do for you is all that do for me is lead me to jail. And I'm not trying to go to jail. I'm trying to win. I want to win. And I'll keep winning, and I'll keep finding ways to learn how to evolve. Even if I don't get my education, but I'll still fight for it. I got enough to prove everybody wrong. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe to this video, like this video if you had joined it, and I hope you liked what I said here. But let me tell you, this is not me playing. Before I started this video, I went to God and asked him, can I promote this? Can I do this video? To give some pointers. And I prayed, and he said, sure. The Spirit okayed it, and this is where we're at. Basically about for treat others the way you want to be treated and don't judge. Just remember this one. Don't judge the book by its cover. Otherwise, you're going to regret saying things that you shouldn't have. And that guy's going to lead you in the dust because you judged him. You made a mistake based on his inability to live his life. I can't wait to prove everybody wrong. Alright, so I hope you guys have a good night and enjoy this video. Please subscribe and comment on your like you got questions. So, alright, so you guys have a good night.